We are live, Murray.
We are live.
We are live.
Good
we are
morning.
live.
Good morning.
So we have Murray and I today because
social distancing again.
Yeah.
The pandemic has closed down all people of Nova Scotia to their home residences.
Yeah.
So that'll take effect this morning. Except for essential services, we're recommended to stay home. Create a bubble of 2. So
here we are at home, and we're knitting together.
Yes.
So hey, that's pretty cool.
I brought out my knitting today, and it's been a while. So looking back at my 50 stitches, I made a couple of errors. They're like dime-sized hole here where I missed
We can fix that up.
Okay, thank you, Cindy. See, she can do it.
So
this is fun.
After you've put your knitting away for so long, did you remember it? Like, did it come right back to you?
No problem.
So you're a real knitter now.
I'm a real knitter, yeah. So, I do remember to stab the pirate, hang the pirate, or choke the pirate, hang the pirate, and walk off the plank.
There you go.
And already I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 stitches, and I just got started.
That's great.
I remember it took me 7 stitches a minute.
You're doing great. So next week, we hope to have Greta and Peggy on via StreamYard. I can bring in guests. So what I can manage to do is have all 3 of us on screen at the same time.
Okay.
And it will be like we're together virtually. We're just not in the same room. Right. So that's the plan for next week. We will certainly give that a try. And Greta says... So Greta is watching us from home.
Hi, Greta.
And she says, may I have a beverage, Murray?
Well, if you were here, I'd be honored to serve you. And
so maybe when you do your curbside pickup, Greta, we'll have a beverage and a takeout cup for you. How does that sound?
I hear her from a distance, blocks away. She's saying, Yahoo, Yahoo, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
I wonder how it's going to affect the museum. That's where Greta is a senior interpreter for the Ross Thompson House Museum and Shelburne Historical Society. Yeah.
So, what's this?
Knitting away. This is fun. This is getting back at it. So we have a special guest lined up, eh?
We do today. We have Alan from Darn Yarn coming in.
Darn Yarn.
Yeah, he's going to come in and talk about Darn Yarn a bit, and then Alan and I have an announcement to make, so that's kind of exciting.
Okay, we welcome Alan in a few minutes then.
He's going to come in around 10:15 or so, that'll be great.
Yeah. So yesterday was an exciting day for our little mascot dog here at the studio. Little Lulu got her springtime grooming done, and she has been more lively and energetic, and maybe it's the sunshine. It's a beautiful sunshiny day. Yesterday was nice, so
she sure looks pretty. She's down here underneath us.
She's behind you, right here.
She's down here. She came home with the cutest little bandana on that had bees on it, and I just loved it.
Okay, come here.
Good morning, Lorna. Oh, here she's gonna get to see how pretty she is. She's all groomed up.
So her little bandana. Okay. Can't really see it this way, but your long ears are in the way. Okay, let's roll it around. There you go. Her bandana has honeybees.
Yeah, I kind of like that one. Anyway, she's all ready for summer because we do a lot of walking and stuff out on paths in nature, and she gets a lot of burrs and stuff stuck in her hair, so it's easier to get off.
Yeah, her ears usually hang down another couple inches, so it drags in the dirt. Always washing. Anyway, I have to pick up my
Oh.
knitting.
So Ruth said it looks like our feed is frozen here. Anyone else? Are we frozen for anybody else? Lorna's here today. Greta's here. Kathy's here. It looks like everybody who's staying at home wants something to do today, so they're going to have to listen to Murray and I.
So who else is joining us? There looks like Kathy
and Greta
Lorna,
and Lorna and
Ruth.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
So Lorna, I did a second attempt at your yarn, and let's see if you can
Up there is.
see that.
Oh, that's pretty.
There's more yellow in it this time. I'll take a better picture and send it to you.
It's gold yellow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
wow.
It's the sun yellow, so we'll see how that looks.
Mm-hmm.
And Lana, when Lana comes on, oh, Ruth is good now. Great, that's good. We had lots of problems with Eastlink yesterday in my other space, and then down here in this space, our Bell was just fine.
Yes.
So
the Bell network.
Yeah.
So it's too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Some network connections are a little bit more tedious than others at times, but
well, nobody wants to lose their internet when they're stuck at home all the time, right?
That's true.
Like it's our lifeline to the outside world right now.
Just as our telephone was so important, our landline phone. Remember, you had to keep a rotary dial phone handy just in case the power went out.
Yeah.
You couldn't use your cordless.
Yeah.
You couldn't use your answering machine.
Yeah.
Those days are kind of gone with the better use of radio technologies. Yeah.
We actually are really lucky because of Murray being a telephone man for so many years. We have some really great old rotary dial phones. And my favorite one is a mint green one.
Yeah.
And we always had it hooked up in here, and we took it down a while back, but I'd like to have it hooked up in my next place just because it was so cool.
Well, we should show the audience sometime. I'm going to bring that special phone down. It's called a Space Saver, and it doesn't have a bell ringing network in it. You had to locate a bell out in a hallway or perhaps in a common room, because it was meant to be more of an intercom type of a phone used in dormitories so that there was no ringing in the hallways to disturb anybody. But all you did is you picked the receiver and you could dial out. So ringing in wasn't a big thing, but a secretary or somebody that was in charge of the administration in a dormitory would answer the phone and then contact people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Space Saver phone is unique, not very abundant, hard to find. So it's I'll show it to you.
1 year when Murray was working for SouthTel, they sold a bunch of payphones.
Yes.
The old payphones. So we had bought one of those, and we gave it to our son for his birthday. He was about 16 or 17 years old, and he thought that was so much fun.
Yeah.
So he's had in every house he's lived in,
right,
set up somewhere, because it still worked. You didn't need to put money into it. That part was disconnected, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
You could put a quarter in, a dime in, or a nickel in, and it would go down through to the slot right directly into a coin box that Owen has the key for that special coin box.
Yes.
If you lose that key, you need a side grinder to get into that thing.
Good piggy bank.
Oh, yeah, it was. So it was a good piggy bank.
Oh, and Robin is on. Robin! Wow.
Hi, Robin.
Great to see you. That's Robin from up in Sydney. Remember?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. So I see, Ruth, you said, what's on needles? Okay, so I'm doing socks from scraps right now, and they're all little 25-gram balls that I had. So I'm going to hold this one up, and I'm picking stitches out of the new Vogue knitting book, and I'm going to let Murray talk while I run and get the finished sock and the Vogue knitting book so you can see what I'm talking about. So Murray, go ahead.
Okay, great. So
put him on the spot.
This little cowl that I'm knitting could be used for Lulu somehow, and that dime-size hole I could cut bigger and put her head through it. Anyways, last night was an exciting night for me. I'll tell you why. the Toronto Blue Jays hit a grand slam home run to finalize the win over the Washington team for baseball last night. And I did a big Yahoo! Blue Jays! Anyways, in a few minutes, Alan's going to join us. So Alan Poole from up in the
Pooley.
down in Dartmouth area that has Darn Yarn. So Alan Pooley, we look forward to seeing you.
Hey,
Here's Cindy
so,
back. Okay, Lulu, you get down now.
So I always have tons of little sample yarns that I dye that sometimes they don't ever amount to anything. So here's some.
Okay.
Stop. Okay. No good. Put it
No
back
good?
where it was.
Okay.
Yeah, it's better there. So anyway, I did the foot one color, and then I worked with other colors on the. Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
On the top, I did like a 4-row, so it's kind of stripy on the top and purpley on the bottom. So yeah, and then this is the newest Vogue Knitting, the Ultimate Stitch Dictionary that just came out. I think it was released in January. So I always find a pattern that works with my sock stitches. I usually do 32 stitches for me, for my foot. So I try and find things in multiples of 4 and 8, or sometimes, I'll make it work. And so I try out different patterns. And this one was called, I can't remember what it was called.
So this is your, gee, those are fine needles.
That just scares you, doesn't it, Marie?
It does. It does. So I'll just bring it into the camera zone. Okay. And this is the toe, I believe.
So this one was just a knit and purl stitch. And it's really easy. It's knit 2 rows, and then purl 2, knit 6 twice, and then knit 2 rows, and then knit 6, purl 2 twice. So it gives a really nice kind of ladderish pattern. But this book has cables, Fair Isle, just all kinds of stuff. It's a big, heavy book, but I really, really like it. And lace patterns, all kinds.
Mm-hmm.
So you just can cables. So there's something like, I don't know.
There's pattern layouts and
Yeah.
oh boy. I suppose there's a glossary full of
Yeah. Knitters.
designers.
We'll get you doing this, Murray.
No. Yeah. I might. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's called Vogue Knitting.
Yeah. So
And
yes, they're on the 2.25 needles, Rita.
Robin said that I love the color on Lulu.
Yeah, the yellow looks so nice on her. Or do you mean the blue?
I think Robin meant my blue
Oh, your blue.
on
Okay.
Lulu.
Okay.
Now, which side was I on? Okay, where's my tail? There it is. So I'm up over here. And there's my there. I remember Cindy telling me, try not to stop
In the middle of a
in the
row.
middle of a row.
It's not so bad when you're just doing straight knitting, but if you're in a pattern and you lose your place,
Ouch.
it's terrible to pick back up again.
What?
Yeah. So we're, fine needles scare me too. Hi, Alan, you joined us. Great. Now, are you in my, I don't see you.
So we go into there to share them.
Is he here yet? He's not here yet, though. It'll show up here.
Okay.
I don't see you showing up in my room yet. So anyway, if you hit that invite button, I actually get you on screen. I think with that link that I sent you.
So Alan from Darn Yarn,
Mm-hmm.
he just received a big box of our yarn.
So now Where am I at? I'm on a knit two rows.
Oops. See, I put the needles down, and now I've got
Mm-hmm.
there and there, and slide this one up. Whoops. Okay, where did I go? There I am.
So Greta, okay, I can try again, Alan. We'll see what happened here. I can do it right from the screen here, so we'll see what. Copy to clipboard. Email. Okay, I'm gonna try again.
Well, folks, I have dropped that stitch and the needle pulled through because I grabbed Lulu. There we go. There we go. Okay. Hey.
I'll have to go onto my other
Successful.
device. Okay.
How are you doing there, Cindy?
Well, I'm trying to figure out why I can't see Alan. Because they've always, when I've had guests before, it just they show up right here,
Mm-hmm.
and then I let them in.
Do you have to give them an invite?
I did already, unless I have to hit share screen. Man, I just hate that.
So do we go over in here then?
I'm just trying the link I sent him to see if
okay.
I can get myself in. See why it's not working.
Sorry, Alan. Okay, so with Lulu getting shorn yesterday, last week when I gave her her tablet for flea and tick control, and it's good for 3 to 4 months for a little dog like her. And with her being shorn, we shouldn't have to worry about ticks for all summer, spring and summer anyway. But it's
That would
always
be great.
Yeah, it's always diligent though to check your pets or even yourself if you've been out in the garden or in any shrubbery.
Alan, did you get the thing saying you're entering the broadcast studio? Did you click enter the broadcast studio? So it says you're backstage, only the host can see you. So how come I can't see myself? Here. This is so weird.
Anything in the settings?
So I'm just hitting the same link that I gave you, Alan, and it says I'm backstage, but it's not showing up on my screen at all, which is really weird. So, oh, what did I do?
You stopped the camera.
Okay.
Okay, there we are. We're back. Sorry about that.
Oh, wait. Okay, wait. Now this is on.
Okay, it says test 2 at the top. Well, let's go to our top and see where he is.
No, that's on his screen. I've never had this problem before. Ever. So weird. Who have I brought in before? I brought in Melissa.
Did Peggy?
No.
Oh yeah, you guys went out to Peggy's place the other week. How would that go? So should we go out of the broadcast and come back in?
No, I don't know. I just get so challenged by technology at times. So frustrating.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have closed my link and I'm totally
Is that my phone?
trying to.
That must be my phone ringing in the background.
Well, we're offline now anyway. I don't know what's happening here. Well, it's not working out for me.
How frustrating, eh?
Okay. I just clicked the having issues button. Maybe it'll help me. No.
So does it still show us on camera?
Oh yeah, we're on camera. It's just that before they've always showed up down on this part of the screen, and I just click on them to bring them in.
Right.
So it's just so strange that. Okay, I'm going to get on my other laptop and try and send a different invite and see if that works. But I didn't show up either, so let me just try again. Murray, you're going to have to keep talking.
That's something that I can do. So we have this lockdown in process right now, so it's good to take our knitting, have our coffee. So Arnie and Carlos were a great inspiration for me to get involved with the actual knitting. I said, I would really like to be on a cruise ship going up into the Norwegian fjords and looking at the scenery with Arnie and Carlos giving demonstrations on knitting. And that I'd love Cindy to attend, and she is willing to go up there. But now with all this pandemic, it's quite fearful to say that travel is going to be normal. I don't think anything is going to be normal anymore, and we have to be diligent about how we protect ourselves, wear our masks, wash our hands, keep that social distancing. And if we have to cough, go into the elbow, or at least turn away from people, and then sanitize whatever areas that we happen to spit them our cough. Anyway, a friend of mine contacted COVID, and they're out in Western Canada. She's recovered. She's doing well. She was young, so it didn't hit her too hard. Anyway, we wish her all the best. The aches and pains have slowly dissipated. Now, the other day, it was this past Friday, I received my AstraZeneca inoculation. So at 11 o'clock, I had the needle. Everything was fine. Cindy drove home in the vehicle. That evening, my arm started to throb, and my arm was sore by the next morning. Then it turned out that my legs sort of got throbby and painful, and I had this wavy type of a headache happen. And
So, Murray, I need you to click on invite at the bottom of that screen, and then tell me. I can't cut and paste it over to this one, so you've got to tell me what the link is.
HTTPS.
HTTPS. Okay. Okay.
/
Okay.
StreamYard.com
Okay.
28F
Mm-hmm.
SRB
Okay.
XVGM.
Okay.
Now, should I copy that to our clipboard or?
No, I've got it on here,
Oh.
and Alan, I've just sent it to his email.
Okay, I'll close out this then. So Alan is saying something here, and okay, new comments. Okay. It says test 2 at the top.
No, we're down here now. Oh my gosh. Alan, that's great. So I've sent the link. We'll see what happens, and we'll take it from there.
So
And hopefully it gets on soon. And if not, Alan, we'll just have to make our announcement without you in here in person. We don't want to share the screen.
okay. So we are back into the studio, and the camera's working good. Our audio is there. Well, thank you for sticking with us. Sorry we can't join in Alan.
Well, I've sent him the new link. So
Okay.
he's got to go to his email and see if it works.
All right. So Alan, we look forward to meeting up with you soon.
Hopefully that works. It's so weird. Anyway, definitely technology.
Mm-hmm. So another discussion that happened over Facebook that I was interested
No
in.
luck for you. Okay. I have no idea what's going on. So, Alan, if you don't mind chatting that way, and maybe if people have questions, you can answer that way. But the announcement I want to make that I'm really, really excited about is Alan at Darn Yarn is now marketing all Celtic Raven fibers for me. Since I've had to shut down my my website, Alan was just terrific in helping me out. So I have shipped all my yarn up to Darn Yarn, and they will be looking after all my yarn from now on in.
Okay.
So I will still, if you have a special request, I can help you out that way. But if you're looking for my yarn, please look on the Darn Yarn website. And so, yes. Yes. Thanks, Serena. So, Alan, can you tell us, or maybe just a little bit in the chat, about what spurred you to start Darn Yarn, and tell us a little bit about your business? And because I'm always interested to find out what motivates people to go in the directions that they do. Where is Darn Yarn? So, Peggy, Darn Yarn is an online yarn shop located in Dartmouth.
So is there a link to his website?
So, yeah, Alan, if you want to put in the link to your website, and then I'll put it on my Facebook page after also. Oh, good. So take the time to look at their website. It really is
professional.
It's spectacular.
Yeah.
They've done a terrific job, and one of the things that I really, really like about Darn Yarn is that they really support indie dyers throughout Canada, and they have some great dyers that are I think located all over North America that you've brought in, and just a beautiful selection of yarn and needles and books, just terrific. So that's something that's really, really terrific about Darn Yarn.
Mm.
And plus, I've had the pleasure of working with Alan for a few months now, and just a really great guy to work with. And we've sort of had fun coming up with, thinking about what yarns are selling best. And I'm really happy that I am doing quite a bit of yarn for their shop already, but now they're going to have a bigger variety and some more different things coming up.
So there's influences from many more online shoppers that we get to see through Alan and his marketing contacts. And we want to keep the local presence going, but we have to keep the studio closed until we get another substantial order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I am going to read what Alan has said here. Kelly, my lovely wife, and the management of Darn Yarn and the house is a full-blown yarn addict. She was ordering a bunch of yarn from a number of indie dyers around Canada and the US and had trouble with paying for shipping from all the different dyers. She thought it would be a great to be able to find a bunch of indie small batch dyers. And have them all in one place. And since I do websites for a living, that's how we came to be.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, a passion for something, and it doesn't become a job, it becomes a lifestyle. So
yeah. And here's what Serena has said. So Greta has said that's going to work out really well. And I love Serena's response too. I was so worried about what Cindy and Marie were going to do when they couldn't sell online anymore through Celtic Raven. I love hearing when nice people work together.
Well,
that's
thank
awesome.
You, Serena.
Yeah. Alan has been terrific to work with, and we have never met in person. And I thought, well, maybe today we kind of at least get to see each other, but that didn't work out. But Alan, one of these days we're going to meet in person. That would be so nice.
So now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is Ben Pooley Alan's father?
I believe so.
Well, I've met Ben many times, and especially through the arts and entertainment and the Whirligig Festival. And with the Whirligigs, Ben would make the most intricate whirligigs that would move little items. He had a Jeep going through a roller coaster. He had, I believe, a bridge, a sort of a drawbridge. So Ben has this engineering background that I'm sure that Alan has taken up on with his possible love for design and carried it forward artistically. And it's good that Alan is a marketer and he knows websites.
Yeah. So Alan, I know that you just started trying knitting too. So how is your knitting coming along? You and Murray can compare knitting stories.
Da, 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 da.
Ah. I like this. Alan said, it's her dream to have a yarn shop in the future, so that's what we're working towards as soon as possible. When Cindy reached out to us about her woes, it took us all of about 10 minutes to find a way to make this work. You've got to help good people when they're in need. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it means so much. The community is actually the world at large.
Yeah.
Okay, if we get along with this person and this person and this person and these groups are all and respectful of one another, it's going to work. As soon as that trust gets broken.
Yeah, there's so many good people out there, and too often I think we just hear all the nasty stuff, right? And there's, Murray and I have been so fortunate because we have lived from one side of Canada to the other, and we have met incredible people from one side of Canada to the other. Lots of really, really great memories and experiences with people that have happened just out of people's kindness and stuff. So it's been good.
One of the greatest adventures that Cindy and I had was when in about the year 2007, when I had a big telephone utility truck and big ladders that would go up 32 feet. And Cindy would travel with me all throughout British Columbia and on Vancouver Island. And I'd be contracted through different, one company contracted to TELUS, the telecom company, and I would rebuild lines and climb poles, string lines into people's houses, help set up their internet, make sure the phone's working, put on the safety boxes with the grounding, ground rod. Anyways, it was a pretty interesting job that I had for 37 years. And for a year and a half, or at least, Cindy traveled with me in the truck, and with a sewing machine in the back.
And my knitting needles.
And your knitting needles. And I would go out to do my daily work, and she'd be in the hotel room or a suite. We had some nice rental suites.
And we had some really, really bad stuff, too.
Nasty.
We ended up in northern BC for quite a while.
Say they provided us the best comfort.
They did, but there was a few. I learned to travel with cleaning supplies.
Cleaning supplies,
yeah.
Yes.
So I could do a little extra cleaning if I felt it needed it. So, that was just all that we did.
And one thing that was, we were very lucky in our travels, staying in different places. Never once did we come across any bed bugs or
no, we were really,
like
really
that.
fortunate. The places were clean. I always just wanted to do a little bit of extra bathroom and kitchenette cleaning because we usually rented things with kitchenettes so I could cook.
Right.
And so I'd like to just make sure the kitchen was really clean before I started. Yeah. But we did that for a year and a half. And we lived in that year and a half, we started on Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
And then we were up in Tofino for a while. We were in
Terrace.
we were in
Smithers.
Victoria. Then we went to Smithers.
Yeah.
And then we were in Terrace. And then we were in Smithers for about 2 months, weren't we?
Right.
Yeah, we were in Smithers for about 2 months.
I actually got offered a full-time position up there, but that didn't materialize because I was supposed to be there for 3 months or something, covering for other men who were off duty, and it ended up that they needed some lines repaired back at Fort St. John.
Oh yeah, we were in Fort St. John.
So we went from nice and warm on the Vancouver Island
to Fort St. John.
Fort St. John, 30 below weather. And I had to do the line work, and the snow was up in some places 3 feet, 4 feet.
Yeah.
We ended up in Chetwynd. That was a beautiful little town.
Yeah, we were in Chetwynd for a while, and then we went down to the southern part of.
We went to Kamloops.
Kamloops. Then we were in Grand Forks.
Nakusp and Nelson.
Yeah. We were all over.
Castlegar.
Yeah. We were all over the place. And it was a great experience because you learned how little you actually need to live with and have
So we sold the farm in Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
And bought out here in Nova Scotia because when we took a holiday here, we said, oh my goodness, the place is beautiful. And things are a little bit cheaper here, and we love it.
Yeah.
But now it's time, I think, that.
I know people have been asking me what's happening to Celtic Raven if your building is for sale. This is too much building for us.
It is.
It's just too much building for us. So we have our smaller place up in Cape Breton. So we'll probably be spending the time in Cape Breton when this building sells.
Yeah, Cape Breton for now.
Between Cape Breton and Saskatchewan. We'll be back and forth.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I think quite a few people know that now, but it's always good to.
Yeah. It's just that this is just too much building. It's it's so big. So I got to read some comments here because there's quite
have going on here.
Yeah. So okay. Okay. Talking about the great customer service from Darn Yarn. And Alan says, Murray, that's my dad. He loves his whirligigs and his theater work in Lockport and Shelburne.
Absolutely.
We try to attend all the theater stuff that goes on in the area. So we've seen just about every performance that's happened since we've been here. If we're here, we usually go to them.
And Alan's mother is involved in acting. She's an actress in the plays, and
oh my goodness, I keep hitting that, and I don't mean to.
What is it that you hit?
I gotta hit hide now. Oh my! Maybe it's my laptop today, Alan. Okay. So Alan's talking about his first attempt at knitting, which was a beautiful rainbow scarf from Trailhead Yarns. From Yosemite? Cool. And I'm working on a scarf now that is not going to your son. I bet he wanted that. Oh, and you've learned how to purl now. Woohoo. Oh, I'll learn to purl sooner or later. Right now it's just knit. Knit is good.
So I started knitting at Christmas time.
Yes.
2020. Yeah. And now that we're into 2021 and days just go scooting by, I tell you, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Here we are approaching May.
Yeah, I know.
It'll be summertime soon, folks.
Time just goes by so fast.
Yeah, well, we're busy. Sometimes it's noticeable, sometimes not. I've been taking the time in the morning to really go outside and hear the birds. The birds in the tree line, in the brush. We have a hill in our backyard with lots of big maple trees. I tell you, we saw a cardinal the other day, the blue jays, the sparrows, the chickadee-dee-dee-dee, chickadee-dee-dee.
They're pretty nice back there.
Oh, yeah, they flight around.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I've been collecting a lot of rainwater already, and I have about 4 bowls outside in strategic places that the bees can go and take a sip of water.
Yeah, we had the most interesting thing happen last year. We have a old well in our backyard, and somehow the rainwater had collected in a dish that was on there. And one day when we were out there, I noticed it was just filled with bees, honeybees, coming to get a drink of water, right?
Yes.
So we started leaving it full of water, and the bees came all year to that to get water. Yes. So it was really cool that they...
I tried to follow their path where they were going? From the waterer out back to their home hive, but all I could see was that they were heading northeast when they took off. Mm-hmm. But that's towards the tree line, so... Anyway,
it was pretty neat, so we just kept doing that all year, and we'll do it again this year.
Right, and the waterers are out there. It's surprising that we haven't had more dandelions popping out. They seem a little slower this year.
Yeah, but I hear that people are seeing hummingbirds already.
Wow.
Yeah.
They come back on the backs of geese, I heard. Yeah, they migrate on the backs of geese.
Do you think that's true?
It's an old wives' tale.
It's an old wives' tale?
Somehow
it's kind of a cool story.
Yeah. The hummingbird on the back of a goose to fly all that way southward.
At one time we were in British Columbia and at Halcyon Hot Springs at the cottage.
Okay.
And the wind was really blowing that day, and there was a little hummingbird on a branch out in front of the cottage, and it was holding onto that branch for dear life. Do you remember that? And the wind was blowing that branch back and forth, and that little hummingbird was just hanging on forever. Yeah, because he knew if he let go, he would just get blown away. He was too light to survive. So that was a pretty... And it held on till the wind stopped.
Yes.
It didn't let go. Lana, hello. How are things in Calgary?
Hi, Lana.
So, Lana, I said I would show you your beautiful red yarn, and it is lovely. So here we go here. It looks a little, it's not showing the true color. It's showing like an orangey color, but it is an absolutely gorgeous red color. So way, way nicer than what it's showing on the screen.
Very silky red.
I'll try and get some pictures and send them to you. I really, really like it.
Oh, it looks pretty good on the screen.
It looks too orange.
Well,
like it's not.
When you look at my red.
Yours looks orange too.
Yeah.
Compared to it. It's a true red. It's not an orange-based red at all. There we go.
Red is
so
red.
I have a box of about 500 mini skeins. So I want to dye up some mini skein sets.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which Alan will be able to have at his place.
So just to show you, this is my colorway that Deep Space. So it's got almost a midnight blue to flecks of white to represent stars. What else is there? Twilight.
Little purple color in there.
Well, it's lilac-y.
Yeah.
I forget what the colorway has.
Serena, this red is really similar to that red you have for the one you're going to do. Yeah.
Deep Space is lovely. Thank you, Serena. When I hold up my knitting, you can see that it's otherworldly.
It's coming.
It's coming. Anybody see my flaws? Right at the top. Oh, well. Right up in here, eh? Something happened.
Are you excited for those mini skein kits? I know that's next on my list. We've been doing a lot of rearranging in here because I've actually have made some decisions to give me some more time in my life that's free instead of working all the time.
Work.
Yeah. So
What decision did you make?
I made the decision not to continue with the art classes I've been teaching. So I have a lot of art supplies here. So I sorted through everything on the weekend.
Into what?
Into boxes and into who I could give it to. So I gave quite a bit of stuff to Greta at the museum that she can use for the programming there. Anything that was appropriate for programming for the things that Greta does over the summer. So I gave a bunch to her. And I did an art happenings program for seniors for the municipality for probably about the last 6 years, I think.
Great success to bring the community, the seniors together.
Yeah, I did a lot of stuff at different seniors' homes and in some of the seniors' care centers and also
community centers.
And the community centers. Yeah. And so I packaged all that up and I donated it back to the municipality for their kids' summer art program. So it has freed up a lot of space in the studio and it has got rid of a lot of stuff because 6 or 7 years of teaching art, you end up with a lot of stuff because you have to buy supplies for your classes and you buy for a maximum amount of people that you'll work for. And if you don't hit your maximum amount, you've always got stuff left over. So anyway, it gave me a lot of pleasure to donate it to the municipality because they run a kids' summer art camp. They were thrilled, and I was thrilled. So it was really good to say goodbye to about 12 to 15 boxes of stuff that left the building.
Incredible. And thanks again to Greta. She helped Cindy for a whole morning sorting and compiling stuff. And the museum kids programs, adults programs there. Shelburne County.
Mm-hmm. So that's all going to work
It's
out.
going to benefit. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was really, really happy to do that. And it just freed up so much space, and it actually has freed up a lot of head space for me, and just
Yeah.
space in the building. So now this week, my plan is to start on organizing my knitting stuff a little bit better. So
Okay.
yeah. And I have got a lot of my yarn sorted. Murray's been tying the mini skeins, so even though we usually put just 2 ties in them.
Yes. Yeah. It
So
comes
they don't come tied the way I like. They come tied in a way that tangles. And you know, people ask me why I retie my skeins before I dye, because it can take you an hour to untangle a skein that gets jumbled and tangled up in the dye bath. And I can put extra ties on, you know, 30 or 40 skeins in an hour.
Yeah, about 30.
Yeah, about 30 skeins in an hour, and that saves me a lot of work. So I actually put 4 extra ties on in the figure 8 ties in the big ones. So I'll do 2 opposite each other, and then I switch it like this and do 2 more opposite each other. And I do the figure 8 ties because that just keeps them from getting mixed up. And it makes our life so much easier, unbelievably easier.
So once they're dried in those skeins, after they've been dyed and dried, then I reskein them. And so that then Cindy has the proportionate of how to twist them together, put the label on, and send it out as a packaged item. So if Alan has any sort of advice for us on something else that may need repackaging, or if he ever hears, oh, this fell apart or that fell apart, it hasn't happened yet, but I'm sure that people will let us know if something needs attention.
Well, there's so much trial and error in this. Like we started with, like I knew how to dye, but I had never really done anything for big production.
Right.
So, I started just with little farmers markets at first, getting that figured out, and then it just sort of progressed from there.
I like the time that we were up in Cape Breton and Cindy was dyeing some yarn and she needed, and they were huge skeins. So she needed them condensed a little bit more. She measured, okay, this is the size. And I said, I can make you something. And I'm still using it today as a skein rewinder.
Yeah, the skein rewinder.
Basic design, fairly easy on my back. It gave me quite a good job for a couple of years now. But
he's unpaid labor, though. Oh, good. Alan says he's never heard a complaint about the Celtic Raven skeins packaging.
Good.
That's good.
I
really find the reskeining helps. It's a big time commitment. It's very time consuming to reskein everything. But what I think happens is when the customer gets the finished product and they go to put it into a ball or whatever, it's already been reskeined, twisted right away, and put into a package. When they put that on their umbrella swift, it's not going to tangle.
No.
It's going to come off that umbrella swift really
nice. As long
nice.
as they take the end and rethread it back out of the figure 8 loop.
Yeah.
If you get the other end that's loose already, okay, well, you can roll your yarn around on your umbrella swift and have it so that it's coming off nice and smoothly. But if you don't undo that figure 8 twist and you pull, all of a sudden, 2 or 3 strands in.
Yeah. Knitters are pretty aware of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I think knitters were men at one time that taught the women. And now it's not a women thing. I think somehow, I don't know. I shouldn't open up my mouth because I have no enough.
That's funny. Be careful. Any comments? Any comments on Murray's comment there?
That knitting was started by men? We'll never know.
That's funny.
Oh, pardon me. A sip of coffee is due.
So,
Yeah. Nice blue skies out there. We're sitting in the studio today, enjoying each other's company, having a coffee.
yeah,
Lulu is down below us, snoring away. I don't know if you ever hear her.
she's quite a loud snorer. Yeah, Marie, I didn't know if we'd be able to sit and talk for an hour and a half, but we're doing okay. We've made an hour, and we're doing.
I just wish that we could have shared the screen with Alan.
Yes. Well, I'm going to get that figured out. Alan will try again another time. So I was very excited to make this announcement today, though, that we are going to be working with Alan. It's just a real pleasure.
Yeah.
And
It's good for us both.
yeah.
Good for Nova Scotia, good for Canada, good for knitters.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs a little hobby, needs inspirations, needs friends. And if we can keep doing this through the Nidios, how do you feel about the Nidios? How they're going?
I think they've been going good. I
Well.
quite enjoy our Wednesday mornings. It's something I want to keep up. Um, you know, it's interesting. We don't often have a whole pile of people watching, but we get a lot of people who watch it after it's been posted on the Facebook page.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Okay.
usually a few hundred views that on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
People that have watched it later, because people are working or whatever. And I know a lot of people tell me they don't really watch them; they just put them on and listen to the conversation, so that they're
Okay.
just listening and enjoying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And getting back to listening and enjoying in the mornings when the birds are chirping back there, I like to sit at the bistro table, have a book, watch Lulu. She goes to the hillside. She won't go up into the trees because I've got a lot of shrubbery there. But Lulu loves to watch for the next door neighbor's cat, and that cat comes nose to nose with Lulu, and they saunter off.
So Alan is just saying he hopes to have all the yarn up on the site by the end of the week, because they have their young fellow home right now from school. Makes things a little harder to get everything done, and we certainly all understand that. I know that you are working as hard as you can, and I appreciate that.
So, Alan, when you opened up the 2 boxes of Celtic Raven fiber yarn that were sent up to you the other day, what was your initial feeling about opening up?
And did you have a favorite color that jumped out at you that you hadn't seen before? I usually have to watch it when I get home from school since we're on lockdown. You start online tomorrow. Are you all ready for that, Serena? Everybody's got challenges, especially in the teaching field. I feel that's a hard one, and especially since I worked in a school for just about 20 years, I know what it's like working with kids in the classroom, and I think it would be challenging, I guess, to get everything set up initially. Maybe you have it all figured out now, but I'm sure you had to overcome a lot of hurdles to begin with.
Yeah.
So that I guess it's like any process, a trial and error process to see what works and see what doesn't work.
So I imagine keeping the students' attention and drawn to focus in. This duty has to be performed, and the expectation is that you answer the right questions. Do you have any sort of solution on how to keep the kids concentrating on what they're reading and doing it, or are they wanting to goof off? Because we all are kids sometimes.
Okay. It was a lot of yarn, even more than the colorways. There's too many favorites. There's too many to pick a favorite. Seeing all the different yarn bases has been a real treat. Kelly fell in love with a pink one, which I somehow doubt will ever make it to the site. Yes. So every so often, what I have to do is when I dye yarn and I got it all done, and I'll go, oh, I'm gonna keep one of these for me. And it just goes. I have this tub that I put everything into, and then about every 6 months, I go to this tub with about, I don't know, 20, 30 skeins of yarn that I know I'm never going to have time to knit. So I pull it all out and I put it onto the site because I'm like, oh my goodness, Cindy, you're never going to knit all this stuff. Because right now I have decided I can only knit with the partial skeins. I cannot open a new skein. So that's what I'm trying to stay focused on. Hence, I am going to have a whole bunch of socks knit up in these new patterns that I'm trying, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Right on.
And Marie will have new socks knit up in the patterns I'm trying, and the family will get them for Christmas.
Oh,
and
great!
I am just knitting socks in all different sizes so that I can use up all these little bits of yarn I have left.
So my cowl is getting.
It's going to be ready for next winter. Oh my goodness. So Serena, I think you have a real challenge trying to get them to play music together online with the lag times. I'm going to focus on music for comfort and giving them projects and compositions to work on. My other class, tourism, will be interesting considering no one can travel right now. But I'm going to try and get guest speakers to come on and visit our class online.
So if it's about travel, does that mean certain places within Nova Scotia that they should learn about? Or is it travel internationally, that they're looking at Europe, China, Africa?
You know, one thing Marie and I found when we were traveling all over Canada, which we've done coast to coast a few times now.
Right.
Things that really made traveling easier, like when you went, like things that really stood out for us. And so Quebec has, on the Trans-Canada, Quebec has these incredible rest stops about every 30 or 50 kilometers. Weren't they about every half hour we came across one?
Something like that.
So probably about every 50, 60 kilometers. And they are huge. And they all had like a place to get coffee in them.
And these are for like truckers or motorhomes
and huge
into.
Parking lots.
Yeah, along
the side of the Trans-Canada, and they were on both sides of the highway, weren't they? Like,
yes,
they alternated sides of the highway.
They might be a couple of kilometers apart, but they were within a kilometer or two.
Yeah. And they were absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And so everyone that you went into had a selection of things that were available in that area. They had huge, I think some of them even had showers in them, if I remember correctly.
There were all sorts of amenities for the traveler.
Yeah.
Waste dumping sites, information bureaus. We enjoyed going through Quebec. Always mindful,
just because of that.
Yeah. Always mindful, though, that you had to wipe off everything after or before and after.
Well, that's last year when we went.
Yeah.
So last year when we went, they weren't open, but you could still stop there.
Yeah, there was like picnic grounds or.
Yeah, but they didn't have the coffee and stuff ready, but they still had them so that they were user friendly for this time in our world history. So that was really good. And then the other things that I remember are the really nice pullouts that are along the side of the road that are really clean and looked after. We came across some really nice ones like that. And we really enjoyed the things that have the little bit of the history of the area. Like you might pull into, and there's some sort of board that tells, why that's a stopping place.
Right, a monument.
Yeah. Oh, and talking about in Canada, how we compete. We're always looking at international travel. Oh, that's interesting, Serena. I really saw like some of the things that we also enjoyed when we were traveling was, and this was in Quebec too. We went into this gas station, and I can't even remember what day it was during the week, but they had a market in the gas station parking lot, and there was a guy there with chickens. And remember, he had those cages of chickens, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool." I have a real thing about chickens. When I always had chickens when we lived on the farm, and we always had different breeds of chickens. We did not just get plain chickens all the time. They were, we had fancy chickens. We had bad hair. Do you remember the rooster Bad Hair?
Oh, yeah.
We called him Bad
that
Hair.
Plume of hair there that would look like my hair if I didn't have a ball cap on. Puffed out in the back, and it was lopsided sometimes, and over this. His little crown was unique. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he was gone.
Did he disappear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably a coyote or something, or fox.
One day there was a skunk come parading out of the chicken coop with an egg in its mouth. So the skunk went down underneath the shed where I would grind the grain, and I had to capture him, and he never stole another egg after I scolded him. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
He learned his lesson once. You don't steal eggs out of our chicken coop.
I think that we had one day we looked outside and there was a fox at the chicken coop.
Yes.
With one of our chickens in its mouth, and I'm like, Murray, this fox has just killed a chicken. So we went out there and watched her, and she took it back behind the coop, and there she had a den. And
right behind the chicken coop was her den inside of a little.
So they were having chicken takeout on a regular basis.
At our expense.
And she had babies, and we didn't want to trap them or kill them or anything.
Kits,
and so,
aren't they?
Yeah, kits.
Yeah.
So we were trying to figure out what to do, and we decided, well,
We didn't want them dead.
No.
So I wasn't about to shoot them or anything like that. And we just didn't want them right at the chicken coop.
We just wanted her to move.
And I had this silly notion, they don't like cats. Foxes don't like cats unless they attack them. So I took the used kitty litter, because I had a big kitty litter box in the barn that the cats would go in. And I dumped the used kitty litter with all the cat poop, right down the fox den hole. She skedaddled with her kits out to the other end of the property, which was,
she had them all moved into a new den.
Yeah, about 300 yards away. And as it turns out, she never came back into the yard to steal a chicken that we know of. And she moved her kits away, and we could see her quite often.
Yeah, we'd see them playing
out in the field. Yeah.
But she didn't come back, so we were happy. So if you ever have a fox den in your backyard and you want to get rid of them, but you don't want anything to really bad happen to them, just get some kitty litter.
Used kitty litter. So a friend of ours here in Shelburne had chickens 2 years ago, and something was taking the chickens. And then last year they posted that there was a fox, and I said, okay, take your fox, or take your used kitty litter and sprinkle it along the chicken run,
perimeter.
The perimeter,
Yeah.
and see what the fox does. I think they kept their chickens, but they built a different pen or something. I don't know if they ever used the used kitty litter, but anyway. The stories.
Oh, we have lots of great stories. Lots of good farm stories.
And work stories.
Yeah.
The silliest one, though, had to have been when I was working in the mountains of British Columbia, and it was wintertime. And there was usually 2 or 3 feet of snow and ice pack along a roadway, and I was going to wear a house. So I had to go into the underground bucket where the splice was and run a new line from that bucket hole in the ground through a pipe over to the customer's house. But I had to find the bucket hole where the splice was for the underground cable. So I took out the cable locator and I'm ding 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 ding. Okay, so I dig and I dig and I dig and I dig through the snow, chip away the ice, and there's no tub. So the tub has usually a manhole cover or flaps that fold over that you have to wing open, and it's a steel encasement so that vehicles can run over it and not damage any of the wiring. So that wasn't where the pull tub was, and I'm looking at the house. I'm looking towards the roadway, and this is a new subdivision. So there isn't much activity happening around there. So I take out keep the metal detector out and dee 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 dee. Okay, and so I dig there, nothing. What the heck is going on? I'm getting this reading, and the pull tub isn't there, and it's getting later in the day. It's nice and warm, perhaps, but warm -2 or 3 degrees. So it's not frightfully cold, but the snow. So I'm taking the metal detector, and I looked, and here I was pointing over top of the steel toes of my boots, was picking up the signal of the metal, and so then I had to do a totally different plan. I had to leave for the day, come back the next day, and we I talked to the foreman about this, and he kind of chuckled. He said, "Yeah, well, just dig out a certain area, and I'll meet you up on the hill, and we'll see if we can push a cable backwards through and up, and use the sound echoing and that." Well, here the line was on the other side of the house. They had come across the front lawn over to the box on the edge of the house instead of coming straight out from the house. So I had my line wrong. I should have been another, 25, 30 feet away down the hill. So why they did that. But we got it figured out. Funny me locating my toes, my work boots.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's the way it goes sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Another time climbing a pole, and I was up, and this is again in the mountains, but it's summertime, and I climbed up the pole, and on one side I could just about reach out and touch the cliff of the mountain, and the other side was 60 or 70 feet down below, and it was kind of daunting to be up that high,
Yeah.
and it was freaky.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, and another time when that bear walked
Yeah.
out of the bush, and I'm up on the pole, and there's a bear right below me, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Well, I no sooner thought I may be in trouble than a big heavy duty equipment back in the bush started up and scared the bear when the big engine started. So it was a big skidder or loader or something, and the bear ran off.
So, Murray, I've got a message that you need to go do a phone call. So,
Oh, I need to do a phone
Yeah,
call.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll put my knitting
I
down.
kept wondering why it was dinging so much. So, if you can go do that.
Okay, I will. Excuse me.
Right, right at the bottom there.
I need my glasses.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. So this is the fun part when I have to talk by myself to everybody, and I don't really know what's going on. It seems kind of weird. Rita, you're going to have to put some comments so we can be talking back and forth. That's all I can say. Mm-hmm. So the days are going to be interesting for the next 2 weeks in our very small little bubbles that we're all in. And anybody have anything that they do at home to make it a little easier to stay, what's the word? So you can just stay focused and not get too, I guess the word is feeling too much about having not being isolated or being stuck in our own homes for the next 2 weeks. I will miss dropping in when passing through. Yes, I like that when people can drop in. Mm-hmm. And Greta, stay sane by knitting. I agree. So I've been doing knitting, and I'm also, because I'm hopeful that our building is going to sell, I'm doing a big purge. And I've been going through stuff and sorting and seeing what am I keeping, what am I not keeping. So, yeah, it's been good. Lots going on in here, even though we're not going out or anything. I still seem to have a lot to do, which is okay. It keeps me busy and keeps me going. I think it'll be a good time to get on those mini skeins and do the gradient sets. Zooming quilt sessions. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. I do have professional Zoom that I could do something on Zoom too. And that's the nice thing about Zoom is, yes, I will still be dyeing yarn. The nice thing about Zoom is you have your interaction right then and there with people talking, which I really like. I've been doing a couple Zoom classes online too, so that's been fun. I kind of like that. And it's all good. I wonder if it'd be like to do a Zoom dye class. You know, you could do the hand-painted skeins that way. I could instruct and I could send out kits and stuff. And, I just did a row too much. Oh, well, I can fix that pretty easily. That's the thing, too, with the knitting on, and I'm trying to focus on the talking and the knitting, and that makes it interesting. That I miss a row every so often. But this is a row that only has, it was supposed to be knit, and I'm going to have 8 purl stitches to change over, so I can manage that. You'll be fine.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
And I'll set your phone, and I have my coffee back. Sorry I had to depart and make a phone call, but it's all good.
Okay.
As you know, the house has been relisted for sale, and I needed to contact my realtor because we have an interested party. So she's going to get back to us, and we'll surely hear what's going to happen.
Well, that's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Smaller house.
That's right. Minimalize.
Yeah. So we have Marie and I living in 5,500 square feet a house.
Well, we have the bookstore rental that takes up a few hundred square feet, but 5,000, square feet is quite a big place.
It's just too big. Yeah. Too big.
It's nice for the studio and everything.
Yeah, but I can have a studio in a regular house.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's understandable.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. And of course, those of you that followed us a bit over the summer, our son is trying to entice us to spend more time in Saskatchewan, and he did a really great studio space for me for when I come back there. And the cool thing about back there that I really enjoyed about that studio space was the fact that he and Murray went and got me 2 4-tray steam tables, from buffets, and they have it set up so that you turn them on, you put hot water in them, it keeps them hot. I can actually dye 4 batches of yarn at one time in the steam table. It's at the right height, so I'm not having to be bending and taking stuff in and out of the oven all the time. And it worked really, really great last summer, and I really enjoyed it. And I was trying to figure out how to fit one of them in the truck to bring it back, but we just had no room.
No
at all.
room.
No room.
No.
No. So we
No
managed
trailer.
to.
We didn't want to have to trailer because we were coming back in mid-October. We didn't know what road conditions were going to be like, and thank God we didn't, because all along Lake Superior, we were in
a storm the whole drive back. Yeah.
It was, and there was accidents, and we had to zigzag through some traffic. Some close calls, but we were safe. We kept safe. Anyways, I just received.
So are we at 11:20? I couldn't see.
Yeah. So, when you want to get news about family, well, our son and daughter-in-law, Miranda, have just experienced some troubling news with their little dog, Squeakers.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Squeakers got too darn close to a porcupine this morning and has a face full of quills. Oh, look at her.
Oh, no.
Oh, she's the poor dear.
She's just a little dog, too. Like, she's barely 10 pounds, I think.
And I think the porcupine swung its tail just as she was barking at it or something.
Well, the one thing about Owen is he's got a lot of experience taking porcupine quills out of dogs. Because we always lived on the farm, we always had our dogs coming home with porcupine quills, and one of us would be. We just had the one dog that just wouldn't cooperate, Domino, remember?
Yeah, he was a little King Charles Spaniel.
Yeah, we have an affinity for King Charles Spaniels.
And black and white. He was the type of dog where he wanted to be outside.
Yeah.
He took to farm life so well.
Yeah.
And he took to chasing the cats and porcupines. I don't think he ever got sprayed by a skunk. Oh, yes,
they were sprayed by skunks
am I talking
all the
about?
time.
I have a story where the dogs and I got sprayed by a skunk so bad. I had to strip my clothes off and
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much for being part of today, Alan. That was great having you on board.
You bet.
And maybe we'll do a test run another time to see if we can actually get this to work when we're not actually doing something. We'll just do
for
a
the
test
broadcast.
run for a broadcast. And I can't figure out why this didn't work today.
Okay.
So anyway, I appreciate that you took an hour out of your very busy day to be part of this. So thanks so much. Everybody, support Darn Yarn. They're great.
Alan Pooley. And what was his wife's name again?
Oh, he said it, and I can't remember.
I want to say Pam, but
no, it's not Pam.
No.
Anyway, that's fine.
Okay, sorry, Alan. Bye now. Anyways, we're still with the folks that are on here for another at least half hour.
No, we're only on till 11:30. Then we have to get into the next part of my day.
Okay, 11:30 is coming up on us pretty quick then. It's been an enjoyable morning. I've even got my knitting technique back down. I lost a stitch, but then I took it back and picked it up again. Anyway, I too have a bit more commitment.
I know. We'll probably finish her up now. We're both going to get into our day and into the other things that are going on in our lives. So,
thank you for joining us.
Kelly is Alan's wife's name.
Kelly.
Okay,
Kelly.
Yeah. So thanks a lot for joining today, and we will keep you posted as to what's going on.
Stay safe.
And stay safe, and we'll be back next week. I do want to try and bring Peggy and Greta on as an invite so that you have the three of us again.
Yeah.
So we did, and I want to thank Murray today he had things he wanted to do today, but I kind of begged him to be part of this because I said, how am I going to talk for an hour and a half by myself? I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
at least when someone else is there, you can come up with some conversation and things. So.
Right. So to close off, I want to thank you for joining us. Celtic Raven Fibers has taken this alternate route. It's still available through contacting Cindy, and I look forward to scanning up some more yarn for you.
Okay. Happy knitting, everybody. Enjoy the next 2 weeks. It's going to be knitting time.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.